Yo, welcome back to another Craftopia guide. Today we're going to be looking at 5 tips and tricks that will help you get started in the game. Some of these are a little bit more advanced than others, but they are very general tips. This is a beginner's guide, but I will do more advanced ones, specialized to those players who are struggling towards the max area. But I'm sure there's something in this video that you didn't know yet. Now, before we get started, if this guide helps you at all, please do drop a like and subscribe. I make all kinds of Craftopia content, and I have so much more to come. Okay, so this very first tip is a little bit basic, but I feel like some players may need to hear it. When you're first starting out, don't worry about what your skill points are particularly going on to, as your style of game will change quite often. I changed my main account so many times until I really got a feel for how I like to play. But the great thing is, your skill points aren't set permanently. If you head into your skill tree, you will see in the top right, you have reset skills. Now, if you've never done this, your first time is free. So if you're just starting out, you've got a bunch of skill points, chuck them on, have a mess around, see what you like. But for me, I've already reset them a few times. And now when I go into reset skills, I can gain back 41 skill points for just 100,000. Now 100,000 may seem a lot to a new player, but it's really not. It's actually incredibly easy to make money in this game. If you would like a guide on how to make some very easy money, let me know down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to make one. But the other side to this, every time they update the game and they add a new skill in, you get your reset back. So don't worry, your skills aren't stuck there. Feel around, see what you like. I've brought some skills that I'm like, oh, that's awful. But that's okay, because when I then figured out the direction I want to head in, I was able to reset my points by the exact order that I wanted, and my account was perfect. Now for this tip, we're going to be talking about the no stamina wall jump. Now this is a little bit of a cheeky trick, so you didn't hear this from me. It will also probably be patched eventually, so kind of get it in while you can and don't rely on this forever. But for now, we can absolutely do it in both the Steam version and the Xbox version. Now when we have these really high up walls, we can only wall jump for so long. So we go onto the wall, and no matter how high we go, we're gonna run out of stamina very quick. So we almost made it. How frustrating. It doesn't matter. We can still actually wall jump. Come on, dude, I'm recording. So this trick will teach you to not use any stamina while wall jumping. Now you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to do my best to explain this, but it's a little bit tricky and practice makes perfect. So first of all, go ahead and grip onto the wall. Once you're on the wall, every time you wall jump, your stamina gets used. However, whether you're on keyboard and mouse or controller, if you do the motion of down, up, jump in a fast succession, you will not use any stamina, like so. As you can see, I'm climbing this wall, my stamina is not being affected at all. Meaning I can reach whatever height I want. Now the best way to do this is as you do your down, or S for you keyboard players. Oh my god! Leave me alone! You can then press jump and forward at the exact same time. Now I'm going to try and record a little hand cam here just to try and show you it in action. For this tip, we are going to be talking about the heal ability. Now, I personally love this ability and I think it's extremely useful. If you head into your skill tree and go along to magic, the very first ability is heal. Now, this is fantastic, especially if you're just starting out and you may not have a full stack of potions or anything like that. This is a heal that is available to you at all times. It's got quick regen and it doesn't take a lot of mana. So you can buy this with just one skill point because it's on the very first page, but you could upgrade if you want to make it even better. So I'm going to drag this down to my bottom bar, and now at any point that I'm damaged, as you can see, that hurt a lot, but I can just very quickly pop a heal and look how much health I get back. That's incredible. And it only used a tiny bit of mana. Now you can actually affect that as well by putting other abilities that use less mana, give you quicker mana regen, whatever it is. However, It's good from the very beginning, and I still use it on my main account. This is my second account, and it was one of the first abilities I brought because I just can't live without it. It's very good for when you're fighting some sort of boss. Maybe you haven't got time to pop a potion, pop some food, anything like that. You could pop it on your bottom bar, and it's only got a 5-second cooldown. You combine this with abilities that reduce cooldowns, reduce mana consumption, and you've pretty much got an unlimited supply of potions. This is a tip I would not skip. I would absolutely put this onto your account. Now for this tip, we're going to talk about breeding merchants. Now all around the map, you might find these handsome little dudes. Now these guys can offer you all sorts of stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's rubbish. It's just kind of random, and it's all RNG based. However, these dudes can actually be attacked. They won't fight back, but that gives us the option to actually catch them. So using your monster prism, you can find one of these guys and attempt to catch them. They sometimes take a couple of prisms, but it's absolutely worth it. Once you have 2 of them, find yourselves a breeding machine, put the little guys on there, and away they go. And there we go. They are now spawning us our very own merchants, meaning we have multiple chances at different shops because each one will have different items. So as you can see, we now have 2. If we check this guy, he's got these items here. First one being a damaged research sample, but nothing else particularly great right now. But if we come over to one of these guys, it's completely different items, meaning you are increasing the chances of rare items being in there, or things like food or potions, which can be extremely useful if you're lazy like me and can't be bothered to make them. Now, if you don't want to lose your first 2 merchants, you can also capture them back off of the breeding machine before they die, pick them back up and put them back on. They will now go back on with full health and repeat the process. And look how many we already have. If we want to, we could fill this entire room up and have 100 different shops available a day. Like this guy here, this one currently has 100 potions for only 180 coins each. So if we max it out, that's only 18,000 gold, which is pretty easy to get. And you can get a bunch of potions. Obviously, be careful. These ones don't have the best increased stats, but you get what I'm saying. Now, the merchants will be put to the level that the world is in, but you could also then capture them, take them to a later world, and potentially get some better items. You can actually go into your furniture shop, create some fences, and completely box them in. You can give them individual little pens, or group them up all like this, or just have them running wild. So for the next tip, we are going to talk about drop pods. Now, I'm sure you've seen these already, but if you haven't, you have to find these. Now, you may see off in the distance there's 2 little balls of fire. That right there is a crashed supply pod. Now, these can be found randomly, or looking out for the smoke, or you'll hear a loud explosion and it will pop up on your screen saying a drop pod has landed nearby. These are definitely worth looting, and we're going to go see why now. So I'm fortunate in this state to actually have 2 landed. That's just because I've kind of been AFK for a minute, so they've both come down. But I will never leave these without going and get them. The resources you can gather from these are absolutely amazing. So here we have a drop pod, and we can just head up to it and we can search it. And it's already dropped some great metals and some chipboards. And there's more. You can actually gather quite a lot of resources, and you get enchantment points, which can be used to make your weapons better at a later date. So we actually got a fuel tank, some batteries, some more ingots, and there's another piece down here. Got some steel ingots, some rare metals, and some aluminium ingots. Now, what is all this stuff good for? So we managed to get 10 orange cakes, which is great food, especially when it's free. And we got 10 of these seafoods. I know it says 34, but I already had some on me from a different drop pod. But personally, I've never bothered making food because the drop pods have just sorted me out for a very, very long time. And the food that they give you is food that will take you a little bit longer to make. So it gives you better boosts, gives you better stat increases, and will do things like heal health as well as hunger. But other than food, we got some electronic circuits. These are great when it comes to things that you may use at a bit of a later date, such as cloud chests, which allow you to enter a chest from anywhere. The fast conveyor belts. It's used for basically futuristic stuff, including the pet management machine, which should definitely be on your list to get. But this sort of stuff is harder to come across, so you're better off having a chest designated till this stuff until you need it, meaning you can just add it up, and it will definitely come in use. But that does it for my 5 tips and tricks. Let me know down in the comments below, did any of these help you? Did you know these already? Have you got any tips or tricks for other players out there, or myself? Maybe you know something I don't. But if this guide did help you, please do drop a like and subscribe. Thank you again for all the support on the Craftopia videos. I've been super enjoying making content for you guys. And I appreciate every single person who either watches, hits that like button, or subscribes. You're amazing. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.